number one.
You gonna go?
Ubiquitous. I did.
What'd you say?
Ubiquitous.
Shut the fuck up.
You've had the word of the week every single week. So
No, you had it once.
Did
You
my
had it
research.
once.
What was my word?
You had it when Cassie was on. I don't remember what it was, but I remember making
Well,
a
I
big
wanted
deal out
two
of
in
it.
a row. Ubiquitous. That is my word of the day. Means to be everywhere at once.
Well, you gotta fucking do the intro first.
No, I didn't. That was my intro. What's up, guys? It's the rapper Mumbles and the gamer nerd Wiz. We're coming at you with episode 5. Count them 5. Still not canceled. We on the internet, baby. Go to how you feeling?
Not yet. I'm doing pretty good. I'm debating whether or not to keep that in or just throw that in the bloopers. So you'll have to wait and see if this episode's live to see when all that fucking.
I just wanted you to be confused of just. Wait, what? What are you saying?
I was so confused.
You know how many times I had to have Siri read me that word so that I could pronounce it right?
No, you said it right, but
I know I said it right, but I was practiced.
Yeah,
that's why we're not shooting until right now.
I couldn't tell you how to spell it by any means, but
there's a Q in there. I can hear it. You bet.
Yeah, Jesse, pre-podcast, we were still recording, so you'll see it in the bloopers, but he got word of the week this time, ubiquitous. We'll pop it up right here above my head.
I like it. Ubiquitous. If you get bored, it's actually a rapper too. It's pretty dope. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of rappers with funny names that aren't pretty dope.
I just wanted to be able to say one big word so that I can clip that and like show my mom and everything else.
We'll post that.
And like when people
TikTok.
question if I graduated or not, I can be like, boom, look at these big words I can say.
Mom, I'm all grown up.
And that segues
something.
into what this week's episode's about. We're talking about school.
Or
lack up.
Who doesn't love school, guys? Woo! I mean,
It's kind of a fun episode for you guys.
It's kind of weird right now, though, with COVID and everything, because everything's online. I don't know how I would be able to handle that.
Oh, yeah, me either. I could never imagine. What is it like to do school in your bedroom?
No, I know that, but I know we'll get into it more eventually in a couple minutes, but was any of your schooling online? Or was
Mine?
it mostly out of a book? Yeah, I don't remember how
Okay,
this worked.
since we're just jumping straight for this,
We're gonna start over, but we're gonna start from the beginning in a second.
No, I had a whole thing planned out and you ruined it. You just jumped right into how was your learning of it? You don't even. Why did I do online, Coda? They don't even know that.
I was just asking a yes or no question.
Yes, that's all.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so Jesse knows it a little bit, and then I took one online class in college and hated it. It was an easy class. Still got a B+ because they assigned one of our exams. They assigned one of our exams for Easter Day.
You're garbage, kid.
And I fucking forgot. I think I was like one of 12 people to not take that exam. It was like history of rock and roll, so I had like 100% before that. Because all online school is so hard to cheat on.
If only you knew somebody that like knew music that could have helped you with that. I mean,
whatever.
It's fine. It's fine.
All right.
Don't ask me for anything. Cool.
I'm used to it. Well, I mean, today when I tried to call you, you didn't even pick up the first time.
Yeah, correct. I wasn't ready to talk to you yet.
Too.
I was mentally preparing myself to deal with you, Dakota. As stated before, we can't stand each other. We just do this because our moms.
I know, I hate you, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
I prefer to even call you just Wizards, so I don't have to say your first name because it grosses me out.
Yeah. To tie the episode in a little bit to current events before we get into school, the weather in Nebraska is so bipolar right now.
Mother Nature, if you're watching our podcast right now, right in hell. And I hope hell is freezing cold one day and burning hot the next. Die.
We were, I don't remember which news source I saw it, but it was a main one, and we had the coldest day in the nation last week at negative.
Out of the whole nation,
degrees.
we were the coldest spot. Yeah, we got to negative 40 degrees. It was a record in Nebraska.
But
it was freezing cold.
You got frostbite within like three or 4 minutes, I think. It was not fun.
Because it's freezing, so nobody's cars would start. including mine, which is
And
like
mine.
from 1993.
Mine's from 2018 and it didn't start.
Yeah, but mine, like, the gas froze. It was that
Yeah.
cold. Gas isn't supposed to freeze.
Yeah, there was clips of people's alcohol freezing outside. I was like, that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, it was freezing out. But I was trying to, like, fix my stuff, jump the battery, get some gas in that thing, and whatever. And it was so cold, I would have to take 1.5-minute breaks. Like, every 1.5 minutes I was outside, I have to go inside because my nose hair started freezing. I was like, what's hard in my nose? And I was like, oh,
Yep.
that's ice. It was icicles.
Yeah, my hair froze.
And now,
And I
1
didn't
week
shower or
later,
anything.
it's like 50 degrees outside.
It's so nice outside right now. I was like, what?
If you're thinking about coming to the Midwest, don't.
You
Just
gotta,
don't.
you
You're
gotta
gambling.
pick. You gotta pick your ups and downs. It's like the stock market. You can't jump in at a high.
You never know when it'll crash.
I know.
Along with the stock market.
Like all last week, it was below 0, and then Sunday it was like 10 degrees, and then it just shot
I didn't
up
have
to
a jacket
50
on
for the rest of
yesterday.
the week.
Yeah. Before then, I was like, oh no, what am I going to do for heat? Because it's so cold that everything's frozen in my house. So
Yep, in Texas,
I'm dying.
Like some of my friends in Texas, they didn't have power from Sunday to like Thursday. I was like, oh,
yeah, Texas is
That's
like
fun.
going. Did you
Yeah.
hear what their mayor said? Their mayor resigned, and what he said is he was like, I don't remember the exact tweet or whatever, but he tweeted out and was like, I'm so sick of you crybabies always
Oh
looking
my
for a
God.
handout. Only the strong will survive and the weak will perish. Go fend for yourselves and get creative if you don't have power. I'm done with this. And then resign. And people are like,
Oh
you're the
my
mayor.
God.
That's exactly. I was watching The Breakfast Club, and I love The Breakfast Club. And they were like, the Avengers aren't a real thing. When people don't know what to do, they that's who they turn to as their government officials. You're not just supposed to
Yeah.
say fend for yourself. Only the strong will survive. Good luck. He's like, find
Yeah.
solutions.
I don't know how factual it was, but I saw this thing on TikTok, and it was like it was a clip of some girl talking about how her I was gonna say electrical and electricity at the same time, but how her electrical
English.
bill, like was super high when they
Yeah.
didn't have power. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I seen that. People at work were talking about that today because this one old lady was like, "No," she's like, "If my bill was just up one day, I'd move." I was like, "Okay, Karen."
Yeah, Aura didn't have power for that like 5 days, and his family
Oh, jeez.
built a fireplace in their living room.
I love that so much.
Just like
That makes me
with
so
bricks around their living room floor, and made a fire
That
in
makes
their
me
living
so
room.
happy.
I was
I
like,
like to think that they have carpet.
I know, because he texted me one day. I'm like, he texted me on Thursday. He's like, "We're back." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I haven't had my phone in I haven't been able to turn on my phone in like a week." I was like, "Oh shit!" I don't think.
Gosh.
Yeah, nope. I don't even know what I would do, because like everything that I am involved with involves electricity.
Power, yeah.
So
I
I'm
would just
fucked.
sit there scratching like an addict, just, please turn back on. Please
Lots
turn
of-
back on.
Lots of attempts at jerking off.
Come on, imagination work.
What'd you say?
Come on, imagination work. I feel 12 again.
Oh my god.
I gotta
Super
remember how I
fun.
survived when I got grounded.
Stay in your room. Okay.
Oh.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
You sit in timeout for 1 hour. Cool, I can get one in and nap.
I remember when your mom went into like the whole like stop sinning. You're sinning. Like she would
Yeah.
like she took your whole door off. I know that wasn't the reason why. We won't get into that right now, but
That's from the mental health episode.
that when I saw that was what I thought the reasoning was, and I thought that was so funny. And then
No,
when I found
yeah,
out the reason,
everyone
it
thought
wasn't
that.
funny.
They were like, "Oh, is it because you have an addiction?" I was like, "Nah, I tried to kill myself. My mom has bad solutions to problems." And they were like,
I also have an addiction,
Oh.
but
"That's not funny." Ha ha ha. It's like, "Yeah, it's fine. I'll get it back soon." And then I didn't get that door back for like 7 months.
is it? I don't even think. Is it still off? I don't even think it's on there. I don't know.
Am I
try
not-
not
at
to
my
go to
mom's
your
house?
Yeah, I try not to go to your house, so I don't remember. But
Yeah, no, the door's on because that's where the baby's room is now.
who, Xavier? I don't know which one they're calling the baby nowadays. But all right, so before I get canceled by my family, let's get into school.
All right, Dakota. How do we want to start this?
We can. All right, so we're gonna. I'll go first. I don't have a. So I have a really bad time remembering my times at school before like 5th grade. I don't know if that's normal.
Well,
or
like,
not,
do we want to
but-
talk about like pre-grades and stuff, or we just want to jump to like high school where stuff's actually interesting?
Well, I'm not going super in depth with everything else, but I was just gonna say that my reasoning for not I couldn't tell you one kid's name I went to elementary school with. Like, I have so many
That's
friends
good.
nowadays that are like, "Oh, I remember Devin from 2nd grade." I'm like, "What? No." I went to 1 or 2 different schools every single year. Not sure if or when we'll get into the reasoning behind that, but I finally went. The first grade I remember a little bit from is 4th grade, and that's because I went to school with Jesse for his last public school appearance.
That was my last, yeah. So I currently have a 3rd grade education, if you're doing your math, which I'm not because I have a 3rd grade education.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I forgot you went
lots
to
of-
my school for a little bit.
Yeah, in Iowa. It's not fun at all. I remember we would
the
get
one
dropped
part
off
of
at...
the country where Council Bluff people look down upon Carter Lake.
I remember getting dropped off at your mom's trailer like at fucking 4 or 5 in the morning when Mom was on the way to work, and then we would go
You
to
don't have
school
to
with
say
you
that
guys.
sentence.
All right, well I can
You don't have
blank
to
out the
repeat
part.
He said, "I remember getting dropped off at your mom's trailer."
Motherfucker, we had a trailer too. We were going from trailer to trailer.
We all had a trailer.
I know.
It was your guys' trailer, next to Grandpa's trailer, next to Nana's trailer, next to our trailer. We ran that trailer park.
I
Represent.
know. We owned the street. We won't get into
Up
too
until the
much
public
of
pool, that's my spot.
of the living situations, but we were in the trailer park, so roast us below. But
That means our
we're
elementary
vibing
school
now.
was great conditions.
Oh my gosh, the only thing I
See-
remember from that school was we'll get into this more in the sports and fitness episode, but I remember the only thing I remember is you sitting on a donut in the cafeteria. That's the only thing I remember from that whole school.
We're just gonna wait on that one and let that be the sports. Yeah, I forgot about that. The freaking donut. I loved that. It's not like I already got bullied or anything, so that the donut helped so much. Made me even cooler in school and more popular.
Thank you. You guys
Oh,
don't got
God.
a little seat to sit on. You guys sit on that uncomfortable metal bench.
Yeah. And then they laugh back and they're like, "Well, you have to sit on that little tube thing or you die." I'm
Yeah.
like, see, we're totally opposite, and I don't know why I can do this because I'm like not good with names. I remember everybody from my elementary school, like
Well, yeah, because
first names, last names.
Yeah, because you didn't have, like, you had to remember your siblings' names after that. That was it. Like, I had 4 years of middle school, 4 years of high school, and 3 years of college to try to remember my classmates' names.
Hey, but I have like a lot of siblings, so
You do have a lot of
Eat
siblings.
me.
We have the same amount of siblings, but...
shut up.
Because your mom had to
You're
copy
frustrating
mine.
You said what?
I said because your mom had to copy mine.
No, your mom copied mine.
Yeah. Your youngest siblings are a lot younger than mine.
True. Our families just love producing. That's what they do.
Actually, not a lot younger. They're like 9 or 10. They just count like they're a lot younger.
All right. Next. So you talked about like your background of like beginning school. Yeah, as Dakota stated, I went to Carter Lake Elementary School.
Were you there?
That's the only like real school I ever went to.
Were you there before I got there, or did you start 4th grade? I don't remember what was happening with
No,
you.
I was. Well, you were a grade above me.
Yeah.
So
third
so
grade.
you were
Okay.
4th grade, and so mine was 3rd grade because 3rd grade was my last year there. I did
were you there
preschool
the other
through
years?
3rd grade.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize that.
I did preschool through 3rd grade all at Carter Lake Elementary, and that was
Gotcha.
the only time that I went to public school. And the reason Mom pulled us out, okay, if you start laughing or if I see any comments about what I'm about to say, I'm flipping out. I'm done with the podcast. I'm killing everyone. I swear to God. There was two reasons. One was because I was bored in class. Like I like to think a smart kid. And on paper I was too. So was in third grade I was really efficient, doing great. And it was a Carter Lake Elementary, so it's not like I wasn't at Harvard.
I know you were like the Einstein in your class.
Yeah, they're like, "Can you teach us how to add?" And I'm like, "We're like 10. What are you talking about? It's really easy." But so mom was like, "Okay, I want you to be able to move at your own pace." And also, kids at that school were great, and I loved bullying. Bullying was my favorite part of that school because it was the one thing I could depend on. Like I knew it was always going to happen. So
oh my god, that's so sad.
So yeah, I got bullied a bunch in school, and mom was tired of picking me up from the teacher's office and everything else at like noon. So she was like, "You know what? You're gonna stay home." I was heartbroken. Because I'm a big people person. So when mom took me out of public school, I was just devastated. And that was like where my wife was. There was this girl that I had a crush on from kindergarten to third grade. You know who you are if you're watching this. I'm gonna not name names because I don't want people blowing up like, "Yo, you could still have a chance with Mumbles." I don't need that. I don't need that drama right now. It's just too painful still. But yeah, I was in love in third grade. But yeah, and then Coda.
Well, I already brought up my beginning school, so let's move on to middle school. I mean, we keep saying beginning school, but I think we mean elementary school. But
it's because we're both dumb and dropped out of college. So
well, I just heard you say it, so I was like, okay, I'll jump on that train. But all right, so middle school.
That.
So middle school.
The starter school stuff.
I'm talking. So middle school. God damn it.
My turn. We'll treat it like a kindergarten. I'll like pass you a stick even though you can't see me.
I'm raising my hand.
My turn.
All right. So middle school, for at least the school that I went to, it was.
Wait, before you go, I just wanted to say.
You done?
All right, I'm kidding. I'm done. All right, middle school.
So the middle school that I went to was 5th through 8th grade, which was abnormal, at least from what I've heard. It's usually 6th to 8th grade. But so I went to the same school for the first time for more than 1 year in a row. I was there from 5th through 8th grade. Jesse was in homeschool, my best friend at the time, because we hate each other now. And so we've talked about it before, I'm a very not social person, unlike Jesse.
Correct.
So I had a really hard time finding friends. I hung out with the weird kids, and I did like...
Which is why he has a podcast with his cousin.
Yeah. So, my main friend at the time was... he's not an ex, we can say his name, was Trent. I won't say his last name, but if he ever finds his way to this episode...
I will.
If he ever finds his way to this episode, he knows who he is. Me and him were really close, at least in my point of view. And, he just hates me. But, we were in this strings class together. We both played the viola, which nobody knows what it is.
Wow.
Right in between the violin and the cello. And nobody gives a fuck about...
Violin.
No one gives a fuck. No, it's bigger than the violin.
Oh, so yeah, I didn't know.
It's like
no one plays viola.
I know, it's literally the notes right in between the violin and the cello. But I thought
I'm gonna get comments of like, I love the viola. I'm sorry, I'm uneducated.
From Cassie, because I found out later that Cassie was one of the like 6 people on the planet that also played the viola.
And look, you guys together.
I know. When she said that, I was like, all right, fuck, I guess we're getting married.
That's what brought you guys together, is the viola.
Viola.
Your kids are gonna ask like, how'd you know that mommy was the one? Played the same stupid instrument as I did for no reason.
Yep. Speaking of stupid instruments and middle school and elementary school, do you remember the recorder?
I never touched the recorder.
Oh, I still have mine upstairs.
That was all you. Yeah, you guys were like, your dad made you do instruments or whatever. You're like, yeah, dog, I'm on that recorder life.
Playing hot cross buns on the fucking recorder, thinking I was the shit. Now I tried to play it, and I was like, yeah.
Again, Wizards is actually the musically inclined one in this relationship. This just did.
No, I just played a lot of instruments for no reason.
I have a proposition for you.
Yeah.
That's my other big word. So, how do you feel about playing the recorder for my next album?
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Whatever.
I don't want your songs to go back down in value. That's not a dig on you. That's a dig on me and the recorder in general.
You said back down in value. That's still
it's kind of a dig on your old music, but you're doing good now.
Whatever. Dude, they were all listening to my old music today at work. They were playing it, and I was just dying inside. I was like, stop. He was like, no. This is actually all right. Like,
these.
So you don't know how music works. Got it.
So I'm going to delete all those videos off my channel.
Dude, this one dude was super high at work, and he was just vibing to Jungle Boy, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. He was sitting there just, yeah, dog, is tight. I was like, oh my god, I know you're high.
Yeah. On that note, Jesse's album coming out is really good. I've heard some of the songs. Obviously, won't say anything about them, but it's really good.
Yeah, it's coming soon. I just I just did the photo shoot for the album cover, and it's currently being edited right now. And I'm releasing it soon with the track list. I have the track list ready. All you got to do, I might force Wizards to put a link down below, but I have a show April 20th here in Omaha, Nebraska, with none other than King Isu, and his affiliates, which it's going to be super dope. But yeah, once we sell out that show, which it will sell out, I'm dropping the track list and the album cover. So I'm excited about that. So go get tickets right now.
Yeah, so that was how I met my good friend Trent, and we were dumbasses together the whole time. I remember being in that string class. Our teacher was, like, I had straight A's all through middle school and high school, but my teacher was not a fan of our shenanigans. I remember this one time we played hide and seek in, like, the locker room of, like, the instruments. So, like, these big-ass, like, cage-looking things that, like, hold your cases with your, like, instruments in them. I remember we were playing hide and seek in there, and me and Trent got on top of them. And we weren't even supposed to be playing games, and our teacher found us up there and was not very happy. But
Trent, I think it was cool.
Yeah, that was a big part of middle school for me. Instruments. It was required to pick an instrument, and I thought the kids in marching band were weird, so I went with strings, which was generally near the same weirdness. But so I had to do that from 5th to 7th grade. And then another big part of my middle school years was football. I wasn't very good at all. Didn't start or anything, but I met a lot of people through that. Met a lot of cool people, and I found the love of the game. I love playing football. I don't watch as much football as I probably should, because I love watching football, but my last relationship, which we didn't get into in the exes one, but she hated football, and she, like, never let me watch it. She was fucked, but so I have some catching up to do. But and then my third, like, big part of, probably the biggest part of middle school for me, was robotics. We'll probably get into an episode, or at least a topic of this a little later, or maybe we're going to talk about this today.
I mean, we're about to talk about high school, so.
Okay, yeah, so I can get a little bit into it. So I was one of the main starters of the robotics club in middle school. So I was a super nerd. There's still, like,
watch out, ladies.
There's still banners all over my room, out of frame of the camera, from robotics stuff, but that's from high school and everything. It's Vex Robotics. If any of my fellow nerds out there know what that is, comment below. I would love to talk to you. But we started the club. Our teacher wasn't really supposed to be a robotics teacher, so he didn't really know what was going on. So we kind of had to do our own thing. And I did it 7th and 8th grade. In 7th grade, we went to state. In 8th grade, we also went to state and nationals. Didn't do very good, but had a great time. Met a lot of cool people. Made some close friends, at least for at the time. The people that were on my team, Trent was on there. Christian was on there. Victor was on there. And me and Victor aren't, like, super close because he went to a different high school than me, but we, like, went up against his team a couple times in robotics. And we're still, like, on good terms. Me and Trent haven't talked since, like, freshman year of high school, I don't So I made some pretty good friends at the time. I became friends with Christian mainly because I didn't want to get bullied anymore, and he was like the tallest kid. So I figured if I was friends with the biggest
Dude's
kid,
always been huge.
if I was friends with the no comment, but if I was friends with the biggest kid in the school, I probably
I
wouldn't get
meant
bullied.
tall. I meant tall.
If I was
You're
friends with the
mean.
biggest kid in the school, then I wouldn't be bullied by anyone other than him, which is fairly true. Unless they
Fairly true.
him and the other kids like ganged up on me, which was super fun. But I was pretty used to it by this point. Like Jesse said, for him, I also got bullied a lot in school. No main reasons why. I mean, I always did good in school. I tried to mind my own business. That's why I tried to play on the football team, so that like I had, because at least in high school when I was on the football team, like I felt like I had the respect of the other football players, and if anybody that wasn't on the football team tried to fuck with me, then they would have my back, which happened almost every time. Yeah, but
As we're a gang.
yeah, I feel like football is like a pretty close to a family. It wasn't quite that way in middle school yet, but I was getting there. And to put this out there, we're not going to talk too much about sports, but the only no, I'm not even going to make that comment. We'll save that. But Jesse, what about you for fifth through 8th grade? We'll run through your stuff pretty quick.
I ate a lot of Cheetos, sat in pajamas a lot, and learned about my body. That was it. That was my middle school experience in a nutshell. I honestly couldn't tell you. Like you're listening, you're like, yeah, middle school was pretty cool. I met some friends. I was like, what did I do middle school? Okay, actually I have a little bit to contest. So 3rd grade is when I started homeschooling. Or after 3rd grade, 4th grade, and I hated it immediately off the jump because I'm super social and like I love being around people and love getting in trouble. So like it was harder to do that in homeschool. Still figured it out.
Yeah.
But between 4th grade and high school, or 8th grade actually, in my last year of middle school, was all just online stuff. So like those years were really just learning. Like my mom didn't even give us summer break. Mom, if you're watching this, thank you. I still appreciate it.
Oh yeah, but you got really far ahead, I remember.
I did. Like I learned a lot, and like I like to think that I'm a smart kid because all I did was study. But Jesus,
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was all online stuff. So like there was this thing called Kaplan University, and we just did that all the time. And it was cool though because you got rewards. So like if you completed subjects, you got points, and you could redeem those points for like actual stuff.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, it was sick. Like I saved up a bunch of points, and I got a Kids Bop CD because how to support the fam.
Bob.
Yeah, Kids Bop.
Because he was on that
I love
one.
that's the continuous topic that we bring up. We're definitely releasing merch eventually with the Kids Bop logo, but like edited with our words.
Yeah.
But yeah, so pretty much from then it was just online work, and it was horrible. I hated it. Because like my mom wasn't the smartest. I'm not throwing bashing. I'm just saying, she got pregnant 17, dropped out of high school, so it happens. But so like I'd get frustrated because she would like, yeah, learn this stuff, and I'm like, okay, how do I learn that? And she's like, I don't freaking know, figure it out. I was like, got it. All right. I'm on my own. Cool. But I did, and I figured it out, and here I am today. But and then high school, I was still homeschooled, but it was weird. And now we're gonna segue into high school. This is a good transition. I started going to this place called the Learning Center. From the Learning Center, what's up? Let's talk. But what it was like public school for homeschoolers. Don't worry, it doesn't make any sense to me either.
No, I was always confused.
I'm still always confused. It was basically public school. Like there was like 600 kids in this big building, and like you had classrooms and everything like that. But it was like 2 times a week, 2 or 3 times a week.
It was like to give the homeschooled kids like a chance to like socialize, which most of them.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And also like for parents that like didn't know how to teach everything, like I had to go and do Spanish there, or trigonometry, or different history class. Like my mom couldn't teach certain stuff. So it was also for that too, but it was cool. I mean, yeah, it gave me an opportunity to meet kids and not be a hermit and gain some social skills. Like we had dances and stuff like that. Like it was pretty much like regular school. We had our bad kids. I was able to cut class for my first few times. It was dope. It was sick.
Yeah, I also feel like that would help if like parents had jobs or anything, because like they obviously not everybody can afford a babysitter. I don't know if they had to pay to go to that thing, but
You did. It was actually like pretty expensive.
shit, there goes my whole fucking point.
Yep. It's fine. So basically, I went to private school. So yeah, I'm like
Wow.
up there.
What a cool kid. Yeah, I did not go to private school.
Private school check.
Yeah, thank God.
You went. It was pretty close to private.
No,
school
it was
that you
public.
went to.
No,
I'm joking because it was central.
Yeah, no, it was. I went to the biggest high school in Omaha. Like we still have the highest like
Huge.
senior class count. Like I think it had like 4,000 or 5,000 people in it, and it had like 6 floors. It's a huge ass building. If you live in Omaha, it's so pretty. It looks like the Capitol building.
It is a really nice building. It looks like it should be a museum or some stuff.
Yeah, everybody says that it was the old Capitol building, but we learned in history class like a bunch. Like they kept telling us to tell people this, that it wasn't, and it was just built on the same land that the old Capitol building used to be. But there's a little bit of history for you guys. See, you learned things.
No, then you just crushed all my dreams.
Yeah.
I really didn't know that till just now. I really didn't like that information. I'm gonna keep pretending.
Yeah, we won't.
That's like the one cool thing I can tell people. It's like, oh yeah, you know that's the old Capitol building, right?
It looks exactly like it. I can try and post a picture. I can try and post a picture here to see what it looks like. But so I was there for freshman through high school, obviously, like high school or freshman through senior year. Gosh, I can't talk.
Freshman through high school. Yeah, he went to OPS, as you can tell.
Oh, whatever. At least I can count to 20.
Hey, we're not talking about counting. We're talking about words. Continue.
But I'm trying to blow up these balloons, bro. I'm struggling.
Oh, I forgot what you were playing. I was like, you're talking and blowing up. Okay, did they teach you that in school?
Yes.
Weirdo.
All right, so most of my
freshman through high school, go.
The reason I went to Central, the main reason at least, was most of my friends from middle school went to the same high school, and my mom also graduated from that high school. We have a lot of like Nobel Peace Prize winners, and like I think Bill Gates or it's either Bill Gates or Warren Buffett went there. So like we have like
Warren Buffett, because Warren Buffett's from Omaha.
Yeah, that's who it was. But we have like a lot of money donated and stuff from him to like for our football stadium and everything like that.
Which Buffett, if you're watching this, we appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, homie. But so I went there for all my years of high school. Similar friends. I was still pretty awkward, so I tried my best to make friends, but I don't think I made many friends outside of the ones that I went to middle school with, other than through the football team, which we'll get into football more in the fitness episode, but that was a big reason of how I made a lot of friends. So they had a robotics team at Central when I went, but the program wasn't doing very good. They had a social studies teacher teaching it, and the people that were like there had never done it before, and the robot was great. But
I remember you had to like come into the robotics program and like teach everybody everything.
Yeah, I had to teach my teacher how to teach programming. That was a lot of the word teach, but
I know it started hurting my head. I was like, I like tongue twisters, but I'm gonna use that in a song actually.
Yeah, I had to teach them all how to program and everything like that, and how to build a robot that actually does stuff. And that was fun. That was probably when my robotics like quote unquote career kind of blew up, because my freshman year we went to state and we got like 5th place, I think, and I thought that was awesome. And I think we even won a trophy that year from robotics, but I can't remember. But
my man's out here flexing. Like, yeah, I was teaching the teachers, and I got trophies, but
I love robotics, bro. That closet is full of robotics parts from when I was in middle school. But
I remember you guys would have tubs and tubs and tubs.
Yep. And then sophomore year, we went to nationals. I'm trying to like think in my head of what year that was, because junior year was the year that we won nationals, and we had a really good robot throughout the whole year. We won like 6 tournaments and a lot of trophies, but so the way the robotics worked was every like couple tournaments people would like change their robot once they like see other people's robots or they see something that was messing up with theirs. So but we never did that. We just like improved our initial design. And if you guys have any questions about robotics, just hit me up. I won't get too far into it, but so the week before nationals, without telling my team or anything, I took the robot home and I rebuilt the entire thing from scratch. And I don't know if I'll get hate for this because I doubt any of them watch this, but I was the only person on our robotics team that did anything. Like I designed it, I built it, I programmed it.
Wow. Shots fired.
Yeah, whatever. But so I did everything. So I didn't need anybody to be home with me, but I remember that like that whole week I stayed up all night every night and I rebuilt the whole robot from the ground up, and we won nationals that year with the new robot that I just built, which I thought was super awesome. The school kept all the trophies, unfortunately, so I don't have any to show you, but we had at least
So it's fake.
We had at least
Making
like
all
18 or
this
20.
up.
No, you could look up my team. It was 2349A and 2349D initially. If you
For some
really
reason,
wanna,
I remember that.
yeah, if you really care and want to look it up, you can. But
Fact check him right now.
I actually can link the YouTube videos of us competing at Worlds. cause junior year when we won,
Again flexing.
in junior year when we won nationals, we also went to Worlds, which is in Kentucky, which was always like super cool because nationals was in fucking Council Bluffs, which never made any. I mean, it makes some sense because it's in the center of the U.S., but I also never understood why Worlds
We have
was
like
in
a
Kentucky.
really nice center there.
Yeah, it was at the Mid America Center. If anybody lives around here, that's where it was. So we won nationals, and I got a, like we were on like the high school newspaper and everything, and we were like, I don't remember. I think it was like for some reason I'm like finding it hard to remember how everything was set up because I'm getting it mixed up with middle school, but I'm pretty sure they had like some like a little bit of like a newsreel that runs in the morning for the kids to like see what's going on. But I think we were on that, and I always thought that was super cool because like nobody knew me in high school unless they're on the football team or the robotics team. So I definitely like, I was like, damn, I'm popular, even though nobody cares about robotics. But so yeah, that was super fun. Went to Worlds. We didn't do great. Then senior year we went back to Worlds and didn't do great again. And that was about it for my high school. Robotics, football, and getting straight A's. And we'll talk about like grades and trouble and all that stuff.
Here in a second.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that your boy Mumbles was also a part of robotics for 1 year.
He was.
I really didn't do anything. They were just like, hey, Jesse, set those cones there. And I was like, I got you. But my name is on the list of people that won state or nationals, wasn't it? Did I win nationals?
You were on Zach and Austin's team, I think, for
Yeah, I was.
for that. I don't remember.
I just don't remember if it was. It was either state or national. Either way, I got a trophy too. I'm just putting it out there that like jack of all trades, whatever.
Kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. It happens. In high school, I still like I love learning, which is crazy because like I'm dumb. But I like trying new things. So like I was a part. Again, if I see any comments or anyone makes fun of this, I'm killing
I know where he's going with this.
I was in the chess club, bro.
Never mind. That's not where I thought he was going with that.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I know what you're gonna say. No, I'm leaving that for the sports podcast. That one gets to wait. No. I was in the chess club and I was good at it too. Like, if anyone wants to 1v1 me on chess, pull up. I'm ready.
On chest?
You said what?
Because you said chest with a T. I thought it was funny, but maybe just me. It's whatever.
Anyways, thank you, Dakota, for that. keyboard warrior. Yeah, I did chess club. I did all kinds of any activities I could get my hands on, just because like trying new things and seeing what I was good at, what I sucked at. My favorite like extracurricular thing that I took, I don't know if it's an extracurricular, but I took sign language. I didn't need to take sign language, but I did. And the reason, that's the only class that I dropped out of that I was like, nah, I should stop doing this, because I sat and thought about it. And I was like, wait, I'm blind.
I'm like, you're going blind.
Why am I taking sign language? Like,
Yeah,
girl, let me feel your hands. What are you saying? It made no sense. Oh, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna dip out this one. Yeah, I'll keep going. But yeah, I did a bunch of extracurriculars. It wasn't like really one thing in particular that like I stayed with. I mean, I that was in high school was like when I decided I wanted to rap. So, like I was like I talked about before. I think I would be I was that kid in the hallways and lunchroom and everything. We didn't have a lunchroom, but anyways, that was sitting there rapping and freestyling all my friends. But that was pretty much it. I mean, I played. You know what? I'm not even gonna say that. I played sports in high school. I'm saving all of this for later.
You played competitive tag on a field. I'm not gonna say what it was called.
Shut up! I'm keeping it for later. Competitive tag.
Tell me that's not what it
Avery,
is.
I hope you're watching this. But yeah, I did all kinds of different extracurricular activities and stuff like that. But dude, my school thing, like, we can laugh, but it was kind of dope. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
like,
it was a good
I got into
idea.
A lot of trouble. It was, and like, idea. I mean, for me at least, like, it gave me some kind of a high school experience. Like, I went to all my school dances and stuff, which like, I loved my dances. I know you didn't go to any dances, and like, I kind of like talked smack before, but like, they were fun. I was just always rambunctious, and it was a good time for just me to act stupid. So, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I mean, talking about clubs, like in high school, I tried to stay like pretty active. Like I was going to football practice like.
My man was always busy.
4 hours a day, and I still had a full-time job, but I fucking
you were.
I did
busy in school.
I did NHS, and then I did NJ. I did the National Honor Society and the National Junior Honor Society in middle school, and then
I'm really glad you explained what that acronym was, because I was like, I don't know what that means.
As soon as I said it, I was like, people are gonna be like, what's that? But
my brain started. I was like, NHS.
Yeah, but other than
no
that,
jalapeno, Steve.
I wasn't in too many like clubs other than robotics, but
you didn't pick up on that.
No, I didn't. I didn't even hear what you said.
You said NHS. I said no jalapeno, Steve.
Oh my gosh! Shut up.
Get it?
Yes.
Jalapenos is yes. I'm a homeschooled. Yeah. All right. Keep going.
Shut up. I guess in high school I did a couple more sports, but we'll get into that in the sports episode. But yeah, to finish up high school before we get into like after high school education. Let's wait, what do you mean what about me?
No, I was saying I'm just talking about me, like my high school stuff. I got some stuff to unpack.
Yeah. No, I know. But about school dances, what Jesse said, I didn't go to any freshman or sophomore year. And then I met my last ex-girlfriend through robotics. We'll get into her more. But I went to a bunch of dances with her. As I'm the antisocial one here, I did not enjoy my dances at all. Not at all. Not a single bit. Yeah, no, that was me. Tried to force me to dance, and it was like I can like slow dance, and that's about it. And you can't slow dance to every song, so I just look like
but even the weird homeschool kids could do that.
Yeah.
That is not true. You can absolutely do it to any song, because a homeschool chick, and I'm not going to name names, but absolutely made me slow dance to moves like Jagger. I will never.
I was waiting for that. That's kind of why I brought that up, because I wanted you to bring that up.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was great. This just stared at my soul the entire time. I was like, "Are you having fun? Are you having fun?" I was like, "Please keep whistling in my ears." Yes, I'm loving this.
Oh my god. No name drops here, but
no name drops because I'm more respectful.
So I know I talked about having pretty good grades from middle school through high school. The only class I ever struggled with was English, and that was mainly because of the teacher at the time. I know that every kid says that, which most of the time is not true, but literally on the first day of class, she was like, "I hate athletes." they're all stupid. They think they know everything. Like, if you're an athlete, I don't, like, she said, like, we're dumb or something like that. I was like, oh, that's a great time. I'm not going to say her name, but her daughter was in my class, which made it that much worse because her daughter was, like, that was really fucking annoying at all points of time. But, Max knows who that is. Not going to say why, but I don't even think Max.
We're getting into these, we almost have to clip out territory.
Oh, whatever. You didn't say anything bad. I only did.
I didn't, but this boy said he said
she was the only girl that I've ever, like, I flipped her off and I told her I hated her to her face. Like she was such a terrible human being. Like, I know, like, most of the times when, like, oh my gosh, the daughter of the teacher's in the class, like, she's gonna be the teacher's pet. Like, yeah, she was the teacher's pet, but she was also, like, the teacher's, I'm not gonna say that, but she was just, like, so annoying. Like, I can't even explain it. Like, I know I sound like a horrible person, like, dogging on her, but if you knew who she was, you would understand. So, sorry if I offended anybody, unless it's her, then I don't care, but, so that's my bit for struggling in school.
2 episodes previously about girls bouncing from one of us to the other, and we've never called anyone a until right now. That's the one, like, yeah, she just really annoyed me, and that's why she's and I hate her. Like, that's really, out of all the females, that's the one that gets the most oomph.
No, it took so much in me not to make comments last time.
I know, and you did good, and we all got through it, and everyone learned.
Well, now that you said that, I might blank out the word that I said. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
If she dies, she dies. It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, in school, I was, as far as, like, grades and stuff, I was actually pretty good in school because, like, you know, if I didn't do good in school, I got locked in a basement with no food or water and took indoors. I'm kidding, by the way, but it felt like that. The only, like, classes that I really had trouble with, I definitely almost flunked chemistry. I should have failed that class. Thank God, Avery Brown, if you're listening to this, I'm giving first and last names. Go follow Avery Brown. He got me through chemistry. I cheated a lot. I always have my hats on. Don't do this in school, kids. But, like, so the teacher couldn't see where my eyes were, and he'd sit next to me, and I'd look to the left and just write everything. And I was like, yeah, I trust you with my life right now. Get me through this. And so, yeah, I shout out to him.
I didn't realize we were exposing ourselves cheating. I definitely cheated so much in fucking school.
I cheated a ton in school. It's the only reason I'm here with you guys today. I have a diploma now.
English exams, social studies as well, and sometimes German. I was pretty good in German class, but sometimes those quizzes fucked me in the butt. So, back to you.
Just let it all hang out this one.
I keep forgetting
I got screwed in my butt.
I keep forgetting I'm not streaming, and I say all this shit on my stream, so...
No, you're not. We have a podcast where, like, you know, right, people pay attention. They actually want to hear what we have to say.
This episode, Dakota's being censored.
Dakota is going through it right now. I don't know what, but we're just going to call it that to give him an excuse.
I need some water. I'm going to calm down.
My man's had a bad day or something. I don't know.
It's been a long day. I just got off work. Usually we do this on the weekend. I just got off work.
Ew. If you know what my day looked like, you'd be like, Jesse, you should be swearing more. Anyways, after that. But yeah, no, chemistry, I definitely should have failed. Shout out to Avery Brown. Biology, too. I just hated science, period. Biology, I should have failed. I definitely deserved an F and nothing higher. The only reason I did any kind of okay in biology, and I passed with an A, was because me and my friends were all stupid. So my teacher she wasn't like really old, but you know, she wasn't young. But she just, you know what? Yeah, she was really old. It was this ancient old lady straight out of the crypt. And she was just like, oh, class. And we kept her alive though, literally. Like, she loved us so much because we were all really dumb, but we were entertainingly dumb. So she was like, you know what? You guys added another year onto my life. Like, You're all getting A's. We all got A's in that class, and none of us deserved them. So that's how incredible the homeschool center really was. Miss Patton, if you're listening to this, I love you. You were literally my favorite teacher in high school. I didn't mean to call you old. It's all just jokes for views. Thank you. Just had to clear that up. But yeah, other than that, I did fine in school. I was okay. What was dope and like how I knew like okay, maybe I am kind of smart. I was a bad kid in school, as you guys have picked up. And in high school, I was horrible. I skipped class a lot, which you should never do. Don't do that. It's bad. But I skipped class a bunch to do whatever. Usually just go hang out with my friends at Taco Bell. If you know, you know. That was the spot. We'd all skip class and go to Taco Bell every week. And it was dope. But I would like come in at the last 10 minutes when I knew we would have a test or something. She'd be like, oh, what's your excuse this time? Because I always had one, obviously. And I was like, me and my brother were playing hide and seek, and I couldn't find him. She's like, you're a senior. Come up with something better next week. I was like, thank you. I'm sorry. I'll try to improve. She's like, just don't flunk my class. And then we were good. Also, Miss Knutson, if you're watching this, you were super dope and also one of my favorite teachers. So thank you for passing me through that class, even though my attendance was horrible.
Yeah, at my school, when people skipped class, they either went to McDonald's that was like a block away, or went and were potheads underneath the bridge with all the homeless people, which was scary, but yeah.
We love homeless people and we love potheads. Clearing that up.
Yes.
Love everyone.
I agree with both of those.
Coda be sectioning out whole groups every episode. He's like, yeah, if you're from Alabama, screw you. If you're homeless, screw you.
Hey, I never
if
said
you're
screw
Miss
you.
Da-da-da-da's daughter.
Well, I did say that, but I said we love you a little less. I never said screw you, and I didn't say anything bad about homeless people. I just said that they were down there.
Oh, you implied it.
No.
I really just want you canceled. I'm trying to take over.
I know. We're making it to 5 episodes.
5 episodes. That's it. We're done. We're not finishing out month 2. But yeah, no, high school. I wasn't a good kid, but you know, I passed, and now I have a diploma, and I got through it. And because I hung around you guys so much, and like at Central, like I would go to the football games and everything like that. Coda, no.
We'll talk about it next episode.
Yeah, we'll bring it up next episode. I'll make sure that gets thrown in there. All of our episodes are just us advertising for the next episode. Every single one, we're like, yeah, I want to tell you about this, but we're going to save that for later.
We're trying really hard to stay on topic per episode, and it's so hard because we have so much stories.
So much to say, which is dope, and we're going to look back on this like in 4 months when we're like, shoot, what did we talk about? What's your favorite kind of lizard? I don't know. And we'll be like, yeah, remember when we had so much content, we like couldn't keep it all in one episode? Now we have 10-minute episodes. It's dope.
Yeah.
I'm excited for just us recapping each other's weeks every episode.
Yeah, so be on the lookout.
Yeah, so stay tuned. I don't remember what I said. Like I just lost train of thought.
Well,
yeah,
since he can't put his words together, I did not skip school at all in high school or middle school for that matter. The only time I ever got in trouble in, I think it's called primary school. I know that's what it's called in Germany, but like the only time I ever got in trouble during like elementary school to senior year was in 8th grade in middle school. I got my first and only detention, and
Lights too.
it was like a it was like a fucking, it was a nerd reason why too. So I was like, we were taking geometry.
Oh, I got one of you.
I think you know the story. It's not.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of weird, but okay. So we were in like 7th grade taking geometry, and I was like, math's my thing. I've always been good at math and physics.
Literally, this kid's a wizard.
Yeah. So I have no idea why I'm the one that says the big words every week, but
Same.
I mean, I guess a subpar public school English is a little better than a lackluster.
Oh, he threw another one.
English.
He's subpar.
And then I said lackluster, but I was more expecting you to hear that one. Like lacking.
I didn't even hear that one. Lackluster?
I said that's better than a lackluster.
I feel like you
English.
don't say big words. You just take any words that a
that is a word.
95-year-old man would say.
No, that is a word. Just meant
I believe it's a word, but it's like no one under 75 says that.
Nah, that's whatever.
A lackluster.
Well, I just meant that your English program at the homeschool center was lacking. There we go.
Oh, whatever.
You just said your fucking teacher was 90 and gave everybody A's.
Yeah. We're funny. We deserved that.
All right, but back to me being a terrible student. So if
Give us the
anybody's
brass
taking,
tacks.
shut up. If anybody's taking geometry, you know there's this thing called proofs that everybody despises, and I'm not gonna go into what it is because this isn't math class. But we were doing this thing called Carnegie Learning, and it was like an online program for like when we're done with all our homework or when we're done with our class, we would do that, and we would get like these stickers on the board, and like whoever's the farthest is the coolest kid in the class or whatever. And I think she gave out like candy or something, but everybody got stuck on this proofs like chapter, and it was a whole section. It was the same. It was the same like type of problem. So what I did is I went through the whole chapter, and I realized that there was a pattern in how they were asking the questions compared to what the answer would be. And I wrote it all down on a little piece of paper, like, oh, if it's worded this way, the answer's this, so that everybody got through that chapter because of me. And instead of keeping it to myself, I was like, maybe I'll get some clout here. So I pass it around.
Oh my gosh.
And eventually everybody has it in the class and everybody passes. And
oh my gosh.
One of the goody kids in the class, she did not like that everybody was passing this for free. So she told the teacher. And
what a narc.
Yep, she told on me. She told on the kid that handed it to her. So I took the blame for everybody. So I was the only one that got in trouble. But so I got a detention for that. I was crying because like I never got in trouble in school, and I was terrified that she would call my parents, which she did, and I still got in trouble. But she didn't.
This
put it
is
on,
why
like,
he's the gamer nerd wizards.
Yeah, she didn't put it on like my record, whatever the fuck they called it. She just like said, "Here, you stay after class this day and clean up my classroom and do homework." And that's what I did.
Oh
So that was my bad kid days in school, at least before college, because college was rough.
Cody, you rebel. Wow. You know what? I'm so glad that you've overcame that, and now you're a good person. And just to see you go from point A to point B it's inspiring, honestly.
Well, like we said I think it was last episode or the episode before, I was the good kid before, and Jesse was the bad kid. And then now you're the bad kid. Now we switched. Yeah, then we
switched. Yeah.
He's gonna take turns.
I know, yeah, because it's crazy, because like I know you now, so that story is like, ha! Like if you now heard that story, you'd be like, what a nerd.
No, I was a nerd, but.
Oh yeah, that is the nerdy. Like most kids are like, most teachers are giving kids detention because they're trying to kill each other and fighting or showing up to class high. Or me, like I just wasn't going to class because it's weird. Why would I go to school and they expect me to go to class?
Yeah, somebody in my
you were
middle
like,
school.
Hey guys, I found a pattern.
Well, there was like 8 kids in my class because nobody was that far in math. But I remember one kid.
That's your way of like, yeah, I'm gonna get popular.
Yeah, I remember one kid in one of my middle school classes was I don't know what he was going through, but he did come to middle school class high, and I don't know what he was on. He pulled down his pants and he pissed all over the classroom in the middle of class.
I no longer just weed.
I don't know what he was on.
My man was popping perks in middle school.
I don't know what the fuck he got into, but he was not okay. Don't do drugs, kids.
I love that so much.
I forgot about that until we were talking about fucking showing up high.
Needless to say, you were not popular in school then.
No. But
is that fair?
Yeah. You should probably
okay.
Talk about your college experience first.
Well, so before that, for high school, I was actually like the popular kid, just because I was funny and like, I was the rapper and everyone was homeschooled there. So like, they were like, oh, my mom doesn't let me listen to this music. Can you make it? That's sick. And I was like, thank you. I wasn't good at it. They never seen it.
I've always felt like homeschooled kids were either like really good kids or like terrible kids.
There was literally no in between. Like the kids were either like, oh, did you just say frick? The Lord doesn't like that. And then the other were like, hey man, you ever tried meth? And I'm like, what? what are you talking about? They're like, yeah, it's really good, helps you study. I'm like, no, I don't. I feel like it doesn't. Please, go away from me.
They would either take a Bible to class or Adderall,
and not prescribed, which is horrible. All right, so that's high school. So after high school, I graduated. Don't know how, but I did. Figured that out. College. So when I first got out of high school, music's always been the dream. So I went and signed up for Full Sail University, which is where I went for a year and a half. And I wanted to go there. I was studying audio production, so I wanted to be a producer and everything. And the reason I dropped out, like, it wasn't. I did drop out of college, and it wasn't super hard or anything. Like the classes were actually really easy. But it was super expensive. It was like
so
$80,000 a year. And I, don't have that. And also, I felt like I was wasting my time because it was like a lot of time that I was using for those classes and stuff. But like it was stuff that I either knew or I learned like just figuring it out. Because in the beginning of making music, like I mixed and mastered and engineered all my stuff, and so I knew how to do this stuff. And so they're trying to teach me like really dumbing it down and spreading it out. I was like, dude, I know how to do this. Like this is just too simple. So I figured, why put so much time in just relearning stuff I already know when I could just put the same amount of energy and time into actually putting out and making music. And so now, I'm about to release my album. So that worked out for me.
Yeah, I feel like
so I dropped out of college.
I feel like that like subject doesn't. I mean, I know there's good people that make music that went to school for it, but I feel like you don't have to go to school to be a good like music.
Correct. Maker. There are certain, and that's like that was something I was toying with because I was like, dang, like I'm a college dropout, like I feel stupid, like da da da. But yeah, that's one of the things, or that's one of the degrees and stuff. Like you don't necessarily need to go to college. Like it's an art.
They have YouTube.
I feel like really any for arts and stuff, like that's just, you don't need college. Like I'm not saying like college is horrible. Don't do college. Like if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, go to college, study, do school. But like art, music, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. But like you don't need college. And I didn't feel college was for me. And I know like every hippy dippy dumb 21-year-old says that, like, yeah, college isn't my thing. But like, I thought I could succeed without it, without going broke for the rest of my life in the process.
Yeah, and I think you've been doing good ever since you left, and you're also wasting all that time and money on something that you probably wouldn't use, or you're just relearning the same things.
Exactly, and like I'm already doing this stuff, so like I don't really need to go to school for it. That's where I'm at with schooling. I'm a college dropout, and that's how smart Jesse is. So,
yeah. So, something else me and Jesse have in common. I'm also at this point in time also a college dropout. So, that wasn't the plan initially. As you guys know from this episode, I did pretty well all through high school. Still struggled with bullying and everything through high school and college. We'll get into that in a second. Like I had a decent ACT score. I was 1 point away from getting like the full ride to the college I went to. I went to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, which is where the Huskers play. If you don't know where the college is, the shitty football team.
Do we want to air that out? What was your ACT score?
It was like 29 or 30. I think I took it the first time for 29, and then the second time I got 30.
I took it one time and got a 27.
Yeah. So I was always good in school, and my dad like was always like tinkering with things. Like he had radio controlled cars, dirt bikes, all that like electronic-y stuff. So from when I was young, I would always like I feel now that I was like pushed and like shoved into wanting to do the same thing, which after 3 years of engineering college, I realized that I didn't want and I couldn't take it anymore. But so I went to school initially for mechanical engineering. I was doing that. I was in that major for 2.5 years, and my second year in, I got an internship with a company called. I might blank out the company's name, but it's an engineering company, and they focus on like irrigation and solar panels and light poles and just random things. But at that point in time, I wasn't really enjoying my time at school, which is probably normal But so I thought, why don't I switch to agricultural engineering? Because I had a lot of fun at my internship and I really enjoyed what I was doing. Like they had me like designing things that were classified, which I won't get into. But so I was like, fine, let's do this, and not really realizing what all went into that major. The first 6 months, the first semester I was in it, it was nice. I enjoyed it. The teachers were so much nicer for that major than any other major, I swear. Like the nicest people ever. Um, but I was just like, it was so boring after the first semester. Like I took a class on like dirt, like so boring. Like
That's fun.
what are the biological properties of this potato? Like I don't know or care,
So what
but
are they? I'm asking for the
I don't
viewers at home because they all want to know.
I couldn't tell you right now if I'm gonna be
Coda, we
honest with
need to
you.
know the biological makeup of a potato.
Um, Potato.
All right, thank you.
So yeah, the reason I probably couldn't tell you is because that was the semester I dropped out. Like
Oh,
I wasn't doing good. I was started skipping class like every day routinely. Not
yeah, you were
good.
skipping a lot for a minute.
That wasn't all because of school. I was also going through a really rough time in my relationship as well as in real life, going through a lot of stuff at the same time, and I just felt like everything was like kind of crashing down on me, which we'll get into in the mental health episode. But school was a big part of that. I feel like I was so depressed. Like I would sleep until like 3 p.m. and
Yeah,
just want to stay
I
in bed
remember that.
all day. Like I didn't have like I know I went to like a state school and everybody like talks about how fun it is. I wasn't a party goer. I didn't drink any alcohol. I didn't do any of that stuff until my last year there. But so I talked about the majors and everything, so I'll go back to freshman year. So my freshman year, we were required to stay in a dorm, and some of my friends from high school were going to the same college. I'll probably blank out his name because I probably won't ever talk to him again on purpose. But my roommate was he was one of my best friends in high school, or so I thought. I didn't realize until afterwards that like I was always just like the punching bag in the friend group, which really fucked with my mental state at all points in time. It didn't really start getting to me until college because I had a girlfriend at the time, so I wasn't always at the dorm, and he was always trying to be my dad and be like, "Oh, where are you? You need to come back here," like everything like that. And he was like the total opposite person of me. So like he was always drinking and doing drugs and everything like that. And my whole thing was, fine, you can do what you want, just don't bring it into my room because I don't want to get in any trouble for anything that you're doing. And
Yeah,
he started like hiding stuff in my room, and like the alcohol's full of beer, and we're both underage, and I'm like, okay, so you didn't listen to the one thing I said. So I just like quit going to my dorm. This also has to do with the relationship at the time, which wasn't good, but so I was never at my dorm, and I hated living with him. I always thought it would be cool to have a roommate, but
it's not.
no.
Sucks.
Uh, Depending, it has to be the right person, and my life was just miserable freshman year. Like I just hated doing everything. Like I was still doing good in school at this point in time, because it was mainly just prerequisites. I think I still had straight A's until sophomore year of college, and then sophomore year of college, I kind of cut off from my roommate. I blocked him on everything. I told him to leave me alone, and because like there's so much stuff that we'll get into it mental health week or month, but there's just so much stuff that like was really fucking with me, and I couldn't take it anymore. So I cut him off. I cut off all of his friends because they were assholes too, and I moved into my own apartment, which was awesome. Probably my best decision, and
Yeah,
I love
I
that
miss that
place.
place.
And so I was doing my own thing. Didn't have a lot of friends because I cut most of them off because they were assholes and they weren't real friends. But I started hanging out with a bunch of nice people, and cool people that I met through my classes. But sophomore year was when I really started to struggle with like education. I was still going to class every day up till this point, and I still did up until junior year. But there was this class, statics. If you know anything about engineering, you know that class is ass. And my teacher was Romanian, and she was the biggest asshole that I've ever met in my life.
Not because she's Romanian, just
Not because she's
just throwing that out
Romanian.
there.
I was just saying that she was Romanian because it was kind of hard to understand her at some points in time in a big lecture hall with like a couple hundred kids and no microphone. But she was the type of teacher that if you asked a question in class, she would like pretty much make you feel
dumb.
like she would call you dumb. Like, oh, weren't you paying attention? No, like no, I was, and I just didn't understand you. And she would show up late to class every day. But if you showed up late to class, she would make a big scene and make you like not come to class. Like she'd be like, "Oh, get out," and like you couldn't learn that day. And I was really struggling. So we had our first exam. It was 3 questions long, and I got one right. I got one wrong. Or no, I got 2 right, and I got one wrong. And the only thing I got wrong was in the middle of my work. I made something a negative when it was supposed to be a positive, and I got a 52% on my test. So my grade dropped to an F. And that really fucked with me because I had never had anything below an A. And so I went to her office hours to try and talk to her, and she told me to my face that I should quit engineering, that I'm stupid, and that
I remember that.
I just can't comprehend, or I'm not good at listening, and asked if I was even in class. And that like really like kind of broke me education wise. And I left her office like crying because like I tried my hardest to like be respectful.
You just had so
and,
much
like,
pressure on you through like school and everything of like you have to be perfect and a straight A student. So like when you got criticism or critique because you weren't perfect, you like didn't deal with that well.
Yeah, because like in high school, middle school, I got grounded if I had anything below an A. But
Yeah.
so I dropped that class because even if I would have got 100% on both the tests after that, I wouldn't have had a passing grade. So I dropped the class. I took it the next semester with a different teacher. I got an A. So for the people that are like, oh, it's not the teacher, it's you. I got an A. Didn't do anything extra. Just went to class and took the exams the same. Um, and then the year after that, um, things were still rocky in the relationship, and I wasn't having a good time. And that was when I lost it, and I quit going to school, and it just wasn't a good semester. So after that semester, I tried to take one more set of classes, and I was just getting fucked. Like no mercy. Just it was not
Good old
fun.
Raylan.
Yeah, it was not fun. I was failing all my classes, and I just felt so lost because there was like 3 kids in each of my classes, and none of them either could help me or wanted to help me. And I tried everything. I tried watching like YouTube videos on how to do certain problems. I started going into class like an hour early every day to talk to the teacher, try to do tutoring, and nothing was helping me. I just like I couldn't do it because my head was just so like I was always like the grindy kid. Like I would always get assignments done early, and now I'm like unable to do them even late, and it was just it wasn't fun. I had such a terrible time that year or that semester, and I dropped out. I dropped all my classes, and because of that, all my scholarships got taken away for that semester. So I still owe the school like $6,000 for that semester, and I obviously don't have that right now. So I'm trying to work that debt off, but um, so I quit going to school, and I want to eventually go back to school, but I want to go back to school for education. I want to do technology education to be able to teach kids like robotics and 3D printing and all that fun stuff in like middle school and high school. Like I realized that my potential was related to engineering because I love doing robotics and all that stuff so much. but the actual subject matter itself, I couldn't do it. Like, I know it's like 1.5 semesters left and I'm done, but I would have failed. I would have just been wasting my money. So I dropped it, and at the time I had like a work study for like 2 of my 3 years at an elementary school teaching kids, and I loved that so much. Like, I have my name tag, it says Mr. Dakota, and I just loved that job. I love teaching kids. I know I brought it up in the episode we were playing Call of Duty that I love being around like children, like teaching them and everything. Like, I taught math and English, and that's what I want to do, is teach. I know it's not the best paying job in the world. I don't care about money, but I want to be able to do something that I want to do. And even to this day, my dad, I won't get into it too much, but just I'm not even gonna get into it. Never mind. You can go.
He's had a lot of pressure on him. We'll say that.
Forever.
Yeah, we'll just say that and leave it at that.
So as soon as I dropped out, I had like the best year of my life. Like, if I'm gonna be 100% honest.
Don't drop out. He's just saying that for him.
Yeah, for me personally, it also helped because I broke up with my ex like a week before I dropped out. And
Dude made a lot of changes in a month.
yeah, December of, not last year because that was like 2 months ago, but the year before,
2019.
I made a lot of changes to kind of help me personally, because I knew that I was going to a not very good place. I mean, I was already in a not very good place. I was really almost doing stupid things no one should do. So for my mental health and my sanity, I dropped out of college 3 years into engineering school. Plan to go back eventually. Trying to figure out my finances as of now, get my debt paid off for what I previously did, and then I'm gonna go back and finish off school. Which shouldn't take very long, because since I was in engineering and I want to go to technology education, I'm already like way past like all the curriculum. So I think it's like 1 semester, and then I have to do like student teaching. So it's literally like I never left school. But yeah, that's what I plan on doing with the rest of my life, school wise.
Is that it?
Yeah, I'm done.
He's.
We're gonna cut out.
Are you
this
okay,
part.
buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was trying not to get heated, but all right.
I can hear it in the voice.
This is gonna go into the bloopers, but we're gonna do the outro. Or if you have any last comments.
So, yeah, that's about it. So now you guys know the Gamer Nerd Wizards and Rapper Mumbles are both college dropouts. So that's fun. That's why we're doing this podcast now. We don't know what we're doing with our future. So again, please subscribe. We need to make money off of this. But yeah, that's our schooling experience.
Yeah, great times.
Anything you want to say to the great guests?
Thank you guys for listening. We got a little deeper than expected here on the schooling episode, but
I know we got a little personal that one, Coda.
Yeah. School really kind of fucked me over towards the end, but this whole thing is to help you guys learn more about us and get a better understanding of where we came from and what we're doing.
First off, if you guys stayed this late and are still listening, like, we really appreciate you. Like, all the real ones that actually like listen through the whole episodes, you're a goat.
You're
and like
crazy.
Genuinely from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you so much. And we will see you guys next week. That is going to be the end for this 5th episode. We will see you guys later.
Number 5.
Peace out. You gotta make your noise.
Let me record again. You're good.
1 second.
It's fine. We can do this every episode.
All right, I'm chilling.
Oh my God.
We gotta have something to put in the bloopers.
That's all you're doing is just trying to feed us content for the bloopers.
Yes, I've been good to go. I'm waiting on you, bro.
I will stab you in the neck with a knife.
Mumbles is violent, everybody. Oh.
It's gonna get loud for a second, okay?
All right.
Number one, hey, oh, number one, hey, number one, hey, I'll be number one.